what's going on? Miguel, host of Life Full Circle Radio. What's good? What's good? If y'all was watching earlier, I was messing around with the little backside stuff. You know, that's the production stuff. Y'all getting a peek behind the wall. All right. Anyway, today we got a few things we're going to talk about. There's a lot of conversation last week around Diddy reassigning the publishing of his Bad Boy artist, Mark Curry, who I had to look him up. I was like, Mark Curry, what song was he on? He was wild, like, man, don't give me the publishing, just give me the money, son. Like, who are you? I don't remember you. But then when he rhymed, I was like, oh, okay. You know, he was a bit player. We're also gonna talk about, I think it's Jeezy, his soon-to-be ex-wife is Jenny Ma. You know, that's Kia's thing. She's gonna get me up to speed on that. Man, let me just tell you how I watched this Kirk Franklin documentary called Father's Day. And he just found who his father was at 53 years old. When I tell you, if you plan on watching it, make sure if you mask your dude, be by yourself, because and if you got any daddy issues, be by yourself, because it is really touching. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and then there's some dude in Florida slapping 40 or 4-year-old autistic kids and got me out here ready to fight him. So anyway, all right, let's get into this thing. Super producer.
What's up? What's up? Happy Monday. No, Tuesday. Happy Tuesday.
It's Tuesday because I had stuff to do last night, and I was like, by the time I got in front of this camera, I was not going to be fit to do my thing. So here we go. We back into this thing. So anyway,
really quick before we get into it.
Yeah.
F these kids. F potty training. F this marriage. F underwear for little kids.
Whatever.
F pull-ups.
Whatever.
F all the books. A. It sucks. So really quick, I'll just tell you guys.
Yeah, potty training, no joke.
Saturday we started. Saturday was fine. It was rough, but me and Omar, we're a team. Sunday, I don't know what happened. Hour into potty training in the morning, we are screaming at each other about potty training. You're dumb. No, you don't know the F you're doing. You're effing stupid. Forget you. Don't even talk to me the rest of the day. Here I come. I know you said don't talk to you, but we got to figure out how to do the potty training.
While the kids over there peeing on themselves, looking at y'all. Just like, first of all, girls, my understanding now, I haven't raised any boys. I've been around boys. I was my now, how old am I? My 40. How old is he? 81, carried one. He's what, 42 now? Almost 42. He'll be 42 in October. So, you know, I used to have to change his diapers. My little big brother, who's now over 300 pounds. But I didn't raise any boys, right? You know, I raised girls. Girls, I would say girls are easier to potty train than
That's a myth. It's a myth because girls are more stubborn. Girls are more just like, I'll hold it as long as you need me to, but I'm not going on this potty that I don't want to be on. I'll hold it forever. Leela held it for 4 hours. 4 hours. She did not go number one at all.
But the thing about it with girls is that with boys, they got to aim. That's the biggest thing about boys. And when you take the pamper off and the wind hit them, it's a wrap, son. You better make sure you're ready, aim, fire. All right. Anyway, and so I asked Kia this offline, and I'm going to Orange Theory now. I'm working out. Me and wifey, you know, we're going to Orange Theory. Because I got to get myself back in shape, man. It's just like, you know, I used to be able to get up, go grab basketball. Let's go. We good. Man, these little joints, they just like, yo, bruh, you better get back on a regular routine because we ready to chill for the next 30 years and you trying to act like you still 25. So is Orange Theory masculine? Every time I go, it's nothing but women.
So I also go to Orange Theory on not a regular basis. I go with my friends who live in a little... That's what we do on Sundays before brunch. We all go to Orange Theory. And I went to Orange Theory in New York. In where she lives, it is literally 50-50. Okay. It is 50-50 every time I've gone. So I don't know if maybe the one you go to, because the area that you're in is majority women. Because don't you live in a majority stay-at-home mom kind of neighborhood situation?
No.
The way you said no means probably, and you just don't want to admit it.
I may just not know. There's a lot of folks working, and the moms and the women, and maybe because it's time of the day too. I'm going midday. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm taking my lunch break.
That's why you going midday. That's why.
I'm an entrepreneur. I'm taking my lunch break and going and get my little hour in. So that's what it is.
So I go on Sundays and Saturdays.
Okay. All right. Well, we trying to get it in. So Anybody got any Orange Theory stories? Y'all let us know. All right, so as we mentioned, we got quite a few things we're trying to chop it up about today.
Yes.
And as we put in the story, I want to lead with this Kirk Franklin story. This Kirk Franklin story is crazy. For people who may not know, I don't know if you know about this story because I kind of dropped this
I
in
do.
the last minute. All right, so
I'm familiar.
let's set this up. Because Kirk Franklin, who is, I don't care what nobody said. Kirk Franklin is to me one of the top 10 musical artists of the community, and he's been doing it now 19 Grammys. He's been killing it for 25 plus years, and he's got a new album coming out in a couple weeks. But he was adopted. People who know the story about Kirk, he was adopted, and he tells that story often. And so I'm gonna let you set up, and then I give you my feedback.
So Kirk Franklin was getting ready to put out his most latest album, and he decided that he was going to give people a very rare behind the scenes look into making this album. He's
Yeah,
never done this
he's
before.
never done it.
You've seen some pictures, some interviews, but it's never been a behind the scenes look.
Mm-hmm.
So while he was recording this, I think it was one of his background singers was like, "Hey, I
Yeah.
went to so and so's funeral,
Yeah.
and somebody there said that it looks like your dad, like somebody looked like he might be related to you."
Yeah.
And that just kind of snowballed
Yeah.
into him getting a DNA test,
Yeah.
him actually going to go see his mother, who seems like a bum, but that's just me.
Yeah. So to finish that part of it up, yes. So he it was a young lady. He said she's been singing with him since she was a child. Well, he's known her since she's a child. Now she's one of his backup singers. And she said, "Yeah, I went to this funeral, and your auntie was there. Everybody knows, she's evidently in the community. Everybody knows his aunt. It's a relatively small community, and he still lives in Dallas, and evidently doesn't live too far from where he grew up. And so she goes to this funeral, and then it's like, okay, yeah, this man right here, blah, 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 blah. So she said, okay, this man might be your father. Get the DNA test, 99.99 comes back, this is father. And when he finds out from his doctor, he's there with his wife, and he has what looks like almost an emotional breakdown. And I can only imagine how traumatic that would be to find out after 53 years old that this is your father. Now, in addition to that, this man happens to live blocks from
Down the
his
street.
studio, down the
From the
street
studio.
from his studio. He said that one of his younger sons used to hang out on this block. Like, he's probably seen this man in passing and didn't even realize who this
Hundreds
man
of times.
didn't know who this man could possibly be. So, in addition to that, he goes back to his mom and he talks to his mother because he has a relationship. He was raised by one woman, his grandmother or adopted grandmother, and she passes away. There's a man that she was told was his biological father. He passed away, and he thought this man was his father, and for years he blamed him for not being there for him, right? Come to find out this man's father. So then he says, okay, all right, mom, calls his mom up and says, mom, hey, here's the thing. I found this man. This man's supposed to be my father, and it's a 99.9% chance, according to this DNA test, this is my father. And she said, nope, that ain't him.
And now, mind you, this man, and it's the man on the screen that's in this picture, looks just like Kurt. Like, you have to be blind not to see that these men have the same shaped face. It is the same face from the nose down. But here's the thing about his mother, and I call her a bum, and that's mean. I shouldn't say that because when she got pregnant, she wasn't like some 28-year-old woman just running the street. Wasn't she 16? And he was 17.
It doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to be as nice to her as you're being right now.
Oh, wait, let me finish before you go in because I know you're about to go in.
Yeah.
I also want to say that I think the reason why she was sitting there lying about it's not him is because at some point you lied to a bunch of people. And if you sit there and say, oh, that is your dad, that means you have to face all the lies you told to about the father he thought he had when that man died thinking that was his son.
Right.
And the family over there thought that was his son. It's a bunch of people she's lied to. So go in and let have, because I know you're ready.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Yeah, you lied. And here's the thing. Even if you were mistaken for all of these years, I would have accepted that better than you lied, and then to satisfy you, Kirk had this man take a second DNA test in your presence, came back with the exact same results. You sat in the room with this man and Kirk and sat right up there and said, nope, it's a lie. And then when Kirk said to you, here's the thing, if you don't give me this one thing, if you don't admit to this one thing and give me this, this is going to affect our relationship for forevermore. And she's basically shrugged her shoulders, said, it is what it is. And this is the type of stuff, man, that I'll be honest with you, man, you know, it's just triggering when you deal with these type of family issues that many of us have history of dealing with. And I think in all the years, one thing about me and Kirk Franklin's music is that I always felt it. It always feels, you know, like the way he produces and composes these songs is always has a way of hitting those notes. And there's a thing, if you go back and watch his documentary, because you know I notice everything. When that trauma hit him in that moment, he had this twitch that you can tell he was physically. And here's the thing: if Kirk Franklin is this good of an actor, then give him an Oscar.
He's not.
He had this twitch that was going in his face that was almost looked like this brother was ready to have a stroke on this song, dealing with this situation.
And I think this is another reason why Kirk and a lot of people don't do reality TV, because when you have something this traumatic happen on screen, you know why you're doing it. Yeah. You low-key want to run, but you can't. Yeah. So because you can't run, you got to stay. It's happening right in front of everybody. That's how those twinges and tics happen. And let's be real, he's never had a great relationship with his mom or even his so-called dad at the very beginning, because I remember him saying that when he became, his mother had never really been there. Even though she was around, she never came around, if that makes sense. Like she was. It
wasn't like he was adopted, but his mother was still even in the community. So I can't imagine you seeing her every now and again. She's not playing the role of the mother, and the type of damage that has done to him. And there's even so many people who deal with these type of stories. Go ahead.
No, and even if she didn't want to play the mom role, she could have at minimum played the auntie big sister role. I'll come around once a week and we'll go get McDonald's. I'll come around and we'll hang out. Or, oh, you got a basketball game. She never did any of even the bare minimum until he became famous. Then she wanted to show up at every single thing and be at all the concerts and all that kind of stuff. And
That's even look at my baby up on the stage.
It's not your baby, bitch. Right. It's not your baby. And even in that moment when he was just asking her, just admit this thing, we'll be fine. Yeah, and she was like, it is what it is.
Yeah, give me this is all he said. Give me this and say yes. Because here's the thing. If they were young, I don't know, like you said, they could be 50. Who knows? He could be 16, 18.
They were 16 and 17
16,
when they
17
had him.
Years old. Come on, man. You know how much kids are getting into what they doing back in the day. And this is 50 plus years ago. So who knows? She may have had 2 or 3 people she had been engaged with, and she wasn't sure who the daddy was, and she decided. The DNA test says 99.99% this is this boy's father, this man's father at 53 years old. And I just, you know, this trauma that people deal with, you have to deal with, it's so terrible and traumatic. But, you know, shout out to Kirk Franklin for sharing that with us.
Wait, there's one more part to this that I want you to talk about. Okay. You said trauma, and then that trauma turns into generational trauma, because Kurt then had Carry On when he was how old? 17 or 18?
Yeah, I don't know, but I know he was young.
It was very, very young. And he wasn't, and he admitted this, that he wasn't that great to Carry On, because he didn't have no example on being a dad. Sure. Now everybody's wondering why is Carry On because Carry On didn't really have a dad. Carry On had a dad, iffy dad. Then his dad becomes famous. Then stuff gets weird. And now they're wondering like, oh, Carry On should just be grateful and this and that. For what? He had to deal with the same trauma almost like his dad did.
Well, I don't know if it's that far. He knew who his father was. His father was in his life.
Well, yes.
Right. This man, he didn't know for 53 years of his life. So there's a big difference. But we know, we covered this a year or so ago with Carry On, who's his son, who ended up doing some show on one of the shows. I don't know.
On Zeus.
On Zeus. So, but to see him in that moment share that with Carry On, and Carry On breaking down, like legit, I didn't know either one of my grandfathers. Like my father's father passed away long before I was born. My mother's father, you know, I met him when I was a teenager. He was an alcoholic. He was, you know, he wasn't.
That was my mother's father.
Right. So I didn't have any relationship with him at all. The only person I knew was a grandfather was my mother's godfather, who I always called granddad. That was the only granddad I knew. The only male figures I had in my life growing up was my great uncle. So I get, it was something about our generation's Gen X And I don't know what it is. I'm not going to put on the whole generation, but there's a lot of us from Gen X who have this story of fathers and father figures being absent. And I think that's one reason why many of us who are so dogmatic about being there for our children. Right.
No,
And I don't care
it's
if it's a
yes.
baby mama, baby daddy situation. I know dope boys who are wonderful fathers. I'll be straight up with you. Because
No, I
they're like,
believe
I
you.
don't, I don't care. They like, I don't care what this girl said I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be there for my child. If I gotta pick him up from school, if I gotta blah 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 blah. So it's just traumatic what we're
And
witnessing, and this curse has to change. We got to get away from this stuff. It's wild right now.
because I can even say my father. My father grew up in not so much the crack epidemic. My father grew up in Metro DC,
He
like
grew up in
Independence
he grew
Ave.
up in '70s and '80s, right? So it was
Yeah, about 70s and 80s. My dad was in his early 20s, so yeah. So my dad's 70. But
yeah.
he probably was one of maybe 500 kids whose dad was in the household.
Yeah.
My grandfather was in the household, married to my grandmother.
Yeah.
My grandfather was the father who, you do something wrong or y'all snuck out. Oh, now I'm gonna go embarrass you at the party and make y'all walk home while I drive next to the car. Like he was that type of grandfather, but there weren't those type of fathers around. It just wasn't like that. So
no. So that's a rarity, especially in DC.
Yes.
And coming out, and there's a lot of theories that I have. A lot of them came home from Vietnam. A lot of them, there was a lot of drugs that were when they were in the war. I know quite a few of my friends' fathers, and so anyway, that's a whole different story. But
yeah.
I just, I really felt for Kirk. I'm not gonna, I ain't gonna lie, man. I was glad I was here by myself because I was sitting here like, whoa, it's
deep. It's traumatic.
It's really traumatic what Kirk had to deal with. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go to YouTube. It's real easy to find Kirk Franklin's Father's Day. It is only, it's not that long. It's only like 37 minutes long, something around there. And then of course, when it's all said and done, he got an album coming out October 5th.
It's a rollout. Now, is it an interesting rollout? Yes, but is it the same kind of it's rollout? It's a rollout.
Hey man, that's a whole, and you know what? And while we talking about, we might as well go and talk about Diddy while we talking about this because the music business is what it is. When it's all said and done, man, they're not making a lot of money off these albums being released. They're making money by gaining attention. And they've got a big tour. Kirk's got a big tour with Ty Tribbett and Tamlin David Mann, and I think Israel Houghton coming up starting in October. So
is that the big one they've been promoting for a while? Like where they're all dressed in black, standing in the grass in front of a white church?
Yeah. So that's I know they're coming to Atlanta in October. And I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Some of the best concerts that I've ever been to have been featured Kirk Franklin. He's an amazing artist and performer. And he's kind of like the Diddy of gospel music as we transition over to Sean Combs as he
First of all, he's the Plies of gospel music. Thank you very much.
Because he looks like Plies, whatever.
They could be twins.
Oh my God. So here we go. So Diddy, for those who may not know, he's got a new album that just came out called Love. It's actually pretty good because he got everybody on it.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's got everybody on it. I can't even begin to run down everybody that he has on the album, but it's everybody's on it. It feels very 90s. I know Mary J. Blige is on the album, and it's anyway. So he's got a new album coming out, and because the new album is coming out, he's doing his tour. He's doing all his interviews and doing promotions, and so he people said that he gave his publishing back. He went on the Breakfast Club and said, no, I ain't gave nothing back. What I did was reassigned, which I need to talk to my music people to know what the difference is that, and that being that, they must be able to make a couple coins off of their publishing, but he still owns it. That's the music business, kid. It is what it is. And
it is the music business, but don't talk crap about artists aren't getting this and artists should get that, which he has made comments about that in the past, and then do the same thing the labels do. And we all know Diddy is notorious, and you can admit this because you've heard this for years. Diddy is notorious for giving people crap deals. As soon as you hear somebody sign a Bad Boy, you're like, that's not gonna work out. That's gonna be bad.
There are much more stories of artists signing. That's the business, and that's the.
But no, name an artist who has signed to Bad Boy who has been successful long term. Mary J.
Faith,
Blige is not signed to.
Faith, Case. You
Are they?
know,
No. I think you're not understanding what the word long term means.
no,
Long
I
term.
do understand. But here's the thing: most musical artists, let's just keep it real, right? You look at Motown. When you say long term, it is
Yes.
yeah. Are they still making albums at Motown? No, but Smokey and Stevie Wonder are still Motown artists, old Motown artists still performing. But music is what
And
it
Faith
is.
is
It's
still
cyclical.
performing. And Faith is still
Faith
performing
is still
like.
Faith is still performing. Well, see, I'm in Atlanta, so everybody performs here. So
Yeah, that doesn't count. So I'm in Orlando, and Faith hasn't come here. Now, if you're Mary J. Blige, I think she was signed to Are they? Is she
no,
friends with Diddy, or is she signed to somebody else?
no, Mary J. Blige was managed by Diddy at first. She was first signed to Uptown Records. So when you go back to the genesis of Diddy started in the game working for Uptown Records, which was Andre Harrell. He was his
Yep.
man. And on Uptown, you had Jodeci, you had Mary J. Blige, you had Heavy D, Father MC. That was late '80s, early '90s. So when he got fired from Uptown, he started Bad Boy, and he still produced Mary J. He still
Got it.
managed Mary J. So there's the connection there. But
But when you let's look at some more artists. 112. Where is 112 now?
112 still performing. They got problems though, but that's internal with the group. Q from
They have internal
112
problems. Oof.
yeah, Q is no
Yeah.
longer. They have their own issues, but yeah, 112 is still performing. 112 is still performing. Little Kim is still performing.
Oh, don't you dare put her in the same group. That's okay. It's hard to. What I'm trying to say is, none of these people who were at Bad Boy could headline a tour by themselves. None of them could. Now, if we go on a Bad Boy, Lil Kim is a completely different entity. I don't even include her in any.
Why?
She's
Bad
different.
Boy. She was Bad Boy. I'm listening.
It's just.
Finish up.
It's just Little Kim. I feel like is because she is the first, not the first lady, because that's Queen Latifah and MC Light, all hail. But because Little Kim was so iconic, it's just different. But I'm talking about again, 112, Faith. Neither one of those people can headline a tour, and people would be like, "Oh, I can't wait to go see them."
But when 6, 7, 8 years ago, when he did a Bad Boy reunion tour, and
That's
were all
everybody.
there. But see, but here's the thing about Puffy.
Here's the thing:
Puffy
do you want one
Diddy
Eminem
and
or a whole
Love.
handful? Wait, do you want one Eminem or a whole handful of Eminems? Nobody wants one Eminem. Like if one Eminem is raggedy. When you here's a whole handful of Eminems, it's delicious.
The Bad Boy brand was built on two people: Puffy,
yes,
and Biggie.
Yes.
Everybody else y'all were on the periphery. Y'all were part of the crew. And
the rest of the Eminems.
Yeah, so to say that none of them could headline a tour, they were never that talent. They were
112?
112? You act like they blowing. 112 can't even really sing.
Oh my God. If we were face to face, I'd be throwing my mic at you and going to go get Tracy upstairs.
We already
like
had this
5-year-old.
conversation. Tell me 112.
You don't like 112?
Here's the thing. Here's why I know 112 can't sing. I can sing all of 112 songs and
Sing
keep
one.
the harmony go. I ain't doing it right now. I can keep every harmony that 112 is singing. They are not amazing singers. The best singer that they had on male singer was probably Case, right? He was. Is he the
skinny one? He's a super skinny one. It's Case and Q were the only lead singers.
I'm mixing up Case. Carl Thomas. And Carl Thomas still is out here doing shows all the time. And so, Diddy is a salesman. I think we said this on the show one time before. Diddy is a Donald Trump level type salesman. He can sell water to a
Oh my God. You don't like it. I love 112.
I didn't say I didn't. Hold on. Don't mix that up. I love 112. 112 made some dope music, both singing along Diddy and Biggie and their own joints. Total's another group. Fun songs, but Total ain't SWV. You know what I mean? 112 is not Boys
I agree.
II Men.
And RIP to Irish from Total, who passed away. So I think there's only one living member of not Total. I got Total and 702 messed up. See?
702. I was like, hold on, anybody from Total? Yeah, anybody from Total passed away.
See, I feel like
Yeah.
we're gonna go down a 2090s rabbit hole that we just not ready to go down right now. So anyway,
Yeah.
one side note to this is that a member of Danity Kane, who always problematic, I can't stand this girl. I can't even think of her name right now. But she came out and said that if they were going to get that reissued publishing back, it came with stipulations where they couldn't talk about Bad Boy, they couldn't talk about Justin Combs' music or Diddy's mom or Diddy or any of this. It came with all these stipulations, which seemed very Diddy-like, to be honest, but maybe it was just in her contract because she the only one out here talking cash crazy every time something's out there.
When I brought this, I said, "Who is she?" And you were like, "Oh, that
Danity.
group that had Danity Kane." I was like, "Okay, that's how I felt about Mark Curry." Mark Curry was coming out here, so it's like, here's a funny thing.
Are you sure it's Mark Curry? Because Mark Curry is a comedian. Is there two Mark Currys?
Exactly. There's a Mark Curry rapper that you don't know who the hell he is, because he rhymed on, I think, one song that was popular, I think with Loon, I believe.
Was he on Checkup on it? No, that was Bun B. Okay, now I can even pick out a Mark Curry song.
Exactly. So when you think about here's the thing. Here's the one that probably would have had the biggest beef with this whole happening was Mace. Mace was the one who had the most public beef with Puffy over the last few years. When this thing dropped a couple of weeks ago, we ain't heard nothing from Mace. And Mace is he's got a great him and I forget his name, Cameron, have a sports talks, which is funny to me. They have a sports talk podcast. They just made a bunch of money off of that. And when it's all set, Mark produced on Bad Boys. Well, okay, he was a producer. All right, bet. So when we got production.
Well, right now he looks like my uncle. That's how old he look. He looked like he is my uncle sitting outside waiting on y'all bringing by for the fish fry. That's what he looks like.
Right. So I'm sitting back like, bruh, you got an opportunity right now. I don't know if anybody. So you gonna go do some shows in the local night cigar bar, and you just gonna rhyme your parts of those Bad Boy songs? Play my track, man. Play my track. Bruh, when it's all said and done,
sad.
Diddy did for you 25 years ago what he's gonna do. The fact that he's bringing your name back out here in 2023, just say thank you and keep it moving. Because he's still out here. He's still in the main. He got networks. He's got alcohol deals. He's got clothing deals. He's got all these deals coming out here. And now he said, okay, it's the right thing to do. Yeah, Mark Curry is right there on the right. Yeah. I had to look him up myself.
He looks like Uncle Ben.
And I'm diehard hip hop. I had to look him up like Mark Curry, because I forget. That your man was a major producer. What's the dude that was married to Faith? Just got divorced from Faith.
Oh my God, Stevie J.
You do know that he
Why
was.
Why she married him?
But you do know that was one of Diddy's major producers back in the day, right?
I absolutely know that. Yeah. I absolutely know that Stevie J wasn't some bum like he is on Love and Hip Hop now, divorcing Faith and asking for alimony, which he got, by the way. He was making hit after hit after hit for Bad Boy. Right. He was dating Eve for a long time and then left Eve for Mimi Faust. That whole thing went to crap because, you left Eve and everybody got to leave you. And then he ended up on Love and Hip Hop.
Now Eve got a billionaire. She don't even see her nowhere.
Eve does not even come on TV. She's like, I have absolutely no reason to be out in public. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I live in England. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm raising my baby. I'm considering having another one, even though I'm damn near 60. That's my life right now.
Eve ain't that old. Eve ain't that old.
She
but anyway.
Be having children. Again.
Your age? Eve is your age.
No, she is not my age.
Eve can't be that much older than you. Look her up. Eve is not.
I cannot believe.
Eve was young when she first hit the scene. Eve is probably let me guess before you call it out. I say Eve is 42.
Eve is 44.
Okay, I was off by 2 years.
But I'm 38 before you try to put me up in my 40s. Thank you very much. She's right your age. I am still 38. Thank you very much. Anyway, yeah.
But shout out to, it is what it is when it comes down to Puff. It is what it is. And what he's going to do is that he's going to sell something, whether it be music and musicians or parties or events or whatever, TV show, TV networks. Get it while you fit in with Diddy and keep it moving. All right. In addition to that, we brought up your girl, and you wanted to talk about Lil Kim as we continue on this bad boy train. I guess Lil Kim.
I'm gonna have a stroke. Put the picture up. Put the picture up.
I guess Lil Kim is about to be. Is it out? About to be in the cover of Ebony magazine, and this is what we're working with. I'm gonna let you go first because she looked like the same she's been looking for the last 20 years to me. But go ahead. You so upset about Lil Kim, and give us the backstory with this picture.
I'm sorry, I'm stuttering. I'm very upset because okay, so this photo came out on, and I'm trying to find the comment that was made by the photographer, but I think even Neighborhood Talk pulled it down. Is it up here? 1 second, guys. 1 second, guys. 1 second, guys. Here it is. So anyway, so they're doing the 50 years of hip hop, which I feel like they've been doing for about the past 3 years, whatever, it's fine. But they're doing the 50 years of hip hop, and they're having multiple covers, like a lot of magazines do when there's an anniversary of something. And Lil Kim, that's Lil Kim on the cover, guys. And it does not look like her. Yes, she's had a lot of plastic surgery. Wait, Miguel, she's done a lot of plastic surgery. We've all seen it. She looks like, what was that movie? Leprechauns in the Hood. She looks like one of the leprechauns from Leprechauns in the Hood. That's what she looks like now. And that's fine. This is what she's done to her body and her face. Yeah. But this looks like an AI nightmare. This is not what Lil Kim looks like on video.
Check the hands. Let's check the hands. See, that's what always gives it away. Let's see. Yeah, that looks like that's her.
But the thing is, the photographer who took this photo, because there's a whole photo shoot, there's multiple photos of her, said, because somebody asked, like, yo, what is this? What photographer took this? He's like, man, Lil Kim has touch-up, I don't know what to call it, Miguel. She has touch-up agreement, touch-up finals.
Yeah, it's touch. I guess she has an agreement that no photos hit the public until she gets to touch them up and make herself look.
And this is what they got back. This is not the photographer who did this. This is her team who touched her up to look like this. And and I'm trying to pull up the video. I'm gonna get it because I'm mad. Hold on, let me go to the Ebony magazine site.
While you're working on that, Lil Kim has had body positivity issues before that was a term.
Here's the video. That's what she looks like in real life. That does not look like that picture.
Photoshopping.
It looks worse.
Yeah, photoshopping can do pretty much whatever you want, right? Lil Kim. We were just looking at an old video, and here's the thing about Lil Kim. She is such a great rapper, man. She is such a
She's
lyricist.
An icon.
She's so talented, when it comes down to spitting bars, but she never liked the way she looked, and I don't understand who did that to her and made her believe she was not more beautiful. She was good enough to get out here and live a wonderful life, put a little makeup on her face when it's time to go on television and still be good. But she's a slave to the plastic surgery. She's a slave to her image.
And I will never understand why she never thought she was pretty. What album cover was that? Where she squatted, the iconic cover.
It's iconic, yeah. That was her first album.
She was hanging up in every man, boy, lesbian, confused woman's house from here to Timbuktu across the world. She was a sex symbol. She came out at the MTV Award with one of her boobs hanging out where Diana Ross tapped it, and everybody was like, "Oh, Little Kim's so sexy." She was in the Moulin Rouge.
That was post surgery, yeah.
That was post one nose job. One nose job.
Those were not her real boobs. No.
Fine, cool. A boob job and a nose job. But then she comes out of prison. Remember, she came out of prison and then it was no holds.
Went to prison. I forgot about that.
Yeah, she went to prison for 2 years.
Did she really?
3 years?
I forgot all about that. Okay.
Anyway, she came out of prison and then it was just like, oh, I'm fixing everything. I want to look like this and the younger girls and this and that. And we've gotten this person who's morphed into someone who I don't even recognize this picture. She looks like she's getting ready for her Hindu wedding. Like, I don't understand this. Like,
I don't know, man. I just, I look at this
sister. Are her eyes even open in this picture?
Huh?
Are her eyes even open in this picture? Is that how photoshopped it is?
I guess it is. I guess it is because it's. I don't know, man. I just look at this thing and I just wonder, the way these people live and die by what people believe and think about them in the public eye. It's just a shame, but it is what it is.
And the comments are, and people love Lil Kim, but everybody's like, whoever was in charge of editing these pictures needs to get fired and blacklisted immediately. Are you ready to play the game? That's from that movie. What was the movie with the serial killer? Saw. That's from Saw. That's what they're saying. She looks like the guy from Saw.
Yeah. Oh, she do kind of look like that.
That's what I'm saying. People are saying this isn't the same person that I grew up with. It's not the same person rapping that song Absolutely, but not y'all showing the live footage before merging into the cover. Oh my God. She looks like she can't breathe. I mean...
Boy, these internet streets, y'all are absolutely brutal. So I don't know, man. It is what it is. At this point, we done went far down that thing, and it is what it is. Keeping up with the ratchetness. Matter of fact, I gotta make sure I get back to make sure we cover your what stories of the week. I'm trying to think. I don't think I have any.
Oh God.
Let me see this.
So is it just like I can just say whatever what story I want?
I see something is lit up here by Jonathan Majors. Let's before we get into the rest of the stories, let's get into our what stories of the week. All right, so what is going on here with Jonathan Majors? His crisis team is on the clock. Fans believe Jonathan Majors is trying to change the narrative after breaking up a fight between two high school girls amid ending domestic violence case. What's going on with this story?
I watched this video. I have watched high school children fight, and I have been screaming off to the side like, oh my God, what y'all doing? Y'all need to stop. He is trying to break up the fight. He is a center frame the entire time. The camera person who's recording this, who apparently supposed to be a teenage girl, whatever, is not saying nothing crazy like, oh my God, get out, they fight. They gotta fight. She said this, she said. The camera person is completely quiet. Everybody around is not boosting up the fight or cheering. Like, what high school students are these? You found these in like some weird monastery in Sweden? Like, what kind of high school kids aren't boosting up a fight? It just seemed very staged. Now, could it work? Maybe not the way he wants to, but maybe because now it's changed the narrative of, is this fake, is this real, rather than he's still up for domestic violence charges, y'all.
So, that story with him has been going for so long, and then she was under arrest, as in his ex-girlfriend.
She was.
Then he's still under domestic violence charges.
And he's with Megan Good, who went with him to court.
He's with Megan Good. So I'm like, okay, is this the video? I haven't even seen it. Is this it?
No.
Is this the fight? Okay, all right.
No. I don't even know what that is.
So I'm looking like this. When I clicked on the link, that's what it was. Atlanta Black Star, get it together.
I know, they suck.
So Loki 2 is getting ready to come out.
I can't wait. And so, he's in it.
Of course, he's in it. So, I always like to connect the dots, and there's always going to be some connection that's going to say, all right, what does Jonathan Major got coming out right now if this was staged? Because Loki 2 is getting ready to come out, and that's just, they got to have that as part of their marketing budgets now. All right, go start some crap in public.
But he's not getting dropped by Marvel. They've actually presented the cast for he's the feature villain in the next 5 movies. Yeah. And maybe Marvel was like, listen, it's going to be too expensive.
Yeah, but it's too expensive to reflame, and it's too
expensive to recast.
It's too, and they know how to measure, how to market as. Nobody has really gotten on the cancel Jonathan Majors thing. It's kind of like this whole thing is weird. Like, we're ready for this thing to be done with so we can keep it moving.
It's very weird, and I think because so many men are having weird issues. You got Danny Masterson, who is going to jail for 30 years for rape.
Going to jail. Yeah, he's going
to jail. Yeah. Now you have Russell Brand, and everybody. I don't know if any people really, our listeners, know who Russell Brand is. A comedian. He's now up on rape allegations. So you got people who are committing sexual assault. Over here, you got Jonathan Majors, who's got an iffy domestic violence situation.
I know. Well, okay. Well, I know the curve has been moved, or the barometer has been moved, but obviously we're not condoning any sort of rape or sexual assault of any kind.
No. What I'm you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But we still gotta say it. But it's crazy. It's crazy. I was grew to make a joke and made me go back to thinking about with Kirk Franklin, because when Kirk Franklin showed up to meet his mom and his aunt, he wouldn't step out the truck until they signed it. Did you sign the paper? Because you got to go back to that part of the documentary, because it's basically like, okay, we're not going to do this interview, and you try to say I can't use this footage. No, you're going to sign this paper right now, because I'm going to use this footage. If I'm out in the streets and I'm a celeb, as soon as I start getting halfway serious with these women, okay, here's a non-disclosure, because I'm not going to be out in these internet streets wild.
Before you even pick him up for a date, hey, just so you know, I just sent this to you through DocuSign. Right. Just sign this, and I'll be there at 8:00 to come pick you up.
We're like, what? DocuSign? Yeah, DocuSign. Yeah, we gotta handle that.
But here's the thing that I thought was funny. Just go back to the Kirk Franklin thing. He had called his aunt and called her by her first name, and she wasn't responding. She was like, "Hey, Auntie Sandra." He was like, "Oh, okay, that's my name. I'm Auntie Sandra."
Like, your sister the one, we didn't went back to Kirk. Your sister the one is over here tripping, and I got to call you Aunt Sandra. I don't even know if you my real auntie. Man, later for that. So anyway, but Jonathan Majors, you say you think the fight was staged. It is what it is.
Okay, so let's go to another funny, Tiffany Haddish. So we had to admit this. Tiffany Haddish is whack. She's always been whack. Me and Miguel both call her whack. The hoe is whack. But the original story for this show showed how she was chasing around Shakira at the MTV Movie Awards and embarrassing herself, photobombing Shakira. Shakira was over it. But we had to update this because she has a new song out.
You know what's so funny? Tiffany Haddish does have a new song out, right? And it's funny because Tiffany Haddish, baby girl, you about 4 years too late. Because you could have been the ghetto comedian chick with the song 3 or 4 years ago. She could be Sexy Red. But now that Sexy Red has already moved the curve. Now you just like the old auntie trying to copy Sexy Red. That's all you looking like right about now. If you'd have done this 3 years ago, it might have hit. But right now, Sexy Red is out this joint. I don't even, man. I'm so ready for her 15 minutes of fame to be done. Oh my God.
Sexy Red?
Sexy Red looks like a crackhead whenever I see her.
And let me tell you, and this is a part about her and what, because, you know, this is what we talk about. People aren't as enamored with her as I think she thinks. I think it's one of those situations where we're laughing at you, not with you. A lot of people are.
She's getting ready to go on tour. She's getting ready to headline a tour. So she's getting ready to make a bunch of bread. But how does she have songs to headline a tour? Oh, okay. She get ready to go on tour, and she ready to headline a tour, and she about to do about 18 cities. So she about to get a whole bunch more money to go out there and do whatever buffoonery that she calls herself doing. There's this video out here right now. She's in a photo shoot or somewhere in the streets, and some security guard walked up her shot. I wish I would pull that up to find that, but I was just like, girl, is your 15 minutes up yet? My Lord. All right.
And if he was white, he probably had to bite his tongue because it would have been a black man. You raggedy ... blank. But if we're gonna stay in the oasis of Sexy Red, we have to talk about Sukihana as part of our Sukihana. You know who she is, right?
I do.
And nobody it's the same thing like Sexy Red. We don't want to know who you are. We just do because of your antics. Yeah. So she went to the MTV Awards and she was face down, butt up on the black carpet for no reason. Something nobody asked for. Delicious, who was on Flavor of Love years ago, posted a very nice comment and said, baby, it's too many outside shoes on this floor, Buttercup, meaning we just want you to get up and be safe. And Sukihana says a slick comment back, and now Delicious is writing this long post about apologizing. Why? I would have never apologized.
Never. It's just these are people that I really don't want to know exist. Like, I know they exist, but the fact that now they are Front Street and you got talented artists, like, you think 10 years ago we thought Nicki Minaj and Cardi B were risque, right? We thought it was like, ooh, they're pushing the envelope. Megan Thee Stallion pushing the envelope.
Wait, it used to be Nicki Minaj and Lady Gaga. Those two when they get on the red carpet, like, oh my God, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna wear? Are they gonna be naked? Oh my God. Now it's everybody. With less talent.
Think about it. We got conversation around Gabrielle Union and Ciara right now because they don't know how to keep their clothes on when they go on the red carpet. So it's just like anyway, I'm done with this.
But Sukihana, I feel like is worse. And then she got on her Instagram live and saying, I'm not embarrassing black women. Y'all embarrassing yourselves. Y'all baby. Like, she was just going on and about. I'm like, no, Sukihana, you are embarrassing us. There is an unspoken rule for every race of people, of women. It's unspoken that when you leave the house, you need to represent yourself, your family, and your culture to the best of your ability. Again, unspoken rule. And if all of us didn't,
in our community, because these people ain't listening. They're not listening.
You don't see the white girls now, they getting a little crazy with the OnlyFans models coming out here. They getting a little crazy, but you never see Middle Eastern girls, Indian girls, Asian girls
at the VMAs. Right,
they're not invited. No, they're not invited.
But black folks want to sit up and you got so many people pushing these girls to the front. Like, Anyway, man, I'm just
Even
ready to get
even the
it done.
Hispanic artists that are out now, like there's Becky G and Selena Gomez, and there's a lot of famous Latin artists who are out now. Do you see them dressed like that, doing that on the red carpet? Yeah, they may be wearing a see-through dress, but are they laying on the floor with their butt up? Are they holding a stack of money covered in tattoos? No.
I do, and then they start talking. They shove a mic in their face, and it's just like Sexy Red. I don't think she finished the fifth grade.
Is she from Miami? Are they both from Miami?
No, Sexy Red is from St. Louis, I believe. I don't know where Sukiana is from, but I don't know.
She's from Miami.
About Sexy Red, but Sexy.
She's
Red
from Miami. She's a Florida girl.
Midwest. And the thing about it is that it was funny thing was when we grew up, it was very distinct, kind of regionally. You knew who was from where by the way they carried themselves, by the way they dressed, by the way they moved. What's her name? Which my girls like. Ice Spice. Ice Spice is from New York.
Ice Spice.
Ice Spice is from New York. She to me, I don't really pay that close attention to her, but when I see her, she's not over the top.
She never is.
The Sexy Red or Sukiana or these whole plethora of these girls that are coming out doing this. It's like it's almost like the strip club is their training ground now.
Well, a lot of them are from the strip club. A lot of them are former strippers who became rappers. I mean, there's Ice Spice, there's Lotto. I don't think they were. And then there's what's the girl who got a deep voice for no damn reason, who be trying to be sexy and it never works out?
Crickets.
What is her name?
Crickets.
You helping me is not. I know you can't help me, but there's a. I wish I could remember her name, but there's like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
Who are in the middle.
Well, it's a lot of them now. Well, you got
in the middle. I mean, and then there's then there's a Seki and Sukianas who are way over here. It's just like, okay, y'all done took it too far.
So now where does Nicki Minaj and Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion, where are they on this curve now? Because they used to be, it's almost like Cardi B and Meg dropped a song, I guess last week that's supposed to have been risque when they dropped WAP 2 years ago. Now it's just like, oh girl, that ain't nothing compared to Sukiana over here getting walked like a dog by a ponytail. You old.
Well, let's talk about Nicki Minaj and her raggedy husband. Did you see what her little raggedy husband did?
No, what did he do now?
So Nicki Minaj's raggedy husband has a beef with Cardi B, his wife's nemesis. He has a beef, and her husband. So him and his friends go to New York to track down Offset, are standing outside of some hotel. Him and his 2 other friends who are in their mid-40s talking about, yo, we outside, bro. You know what it is. You know what we do. You know who I am. And everybody was like, y'all thought this was a flex? Y'all look ridiculous. You look absolutely ridiculous. It's 3 grown. That's like if I saw Miguel doing that, I'd be like, you what? No. Absolutely not. I'm calling Tracy. I'm calling your dad. I'm calling everybody. Like, get him off the corner. He's embarrassing himself. And it's just like, Nick, and I always bring this back to the same thing. Nikki, why did you marry him? Why would you marry someone like Kenneth Petty?
I don't know nothing about the dude, except I think y'all said he's got some child pornography history.
He's a sex offender. He's a registered sex offender. He committed rape. He did 13 years in jail for another assault. He is, he's a bum. He has no job. He has no career. It's just some guy she met that she liked, and that's what it is. He brings nothing to the table. So when he was talking crap about Offset was in Colorado getting ready to walk out on the field with Deion Sanders, and he was just like, "I'm out here. What y'all doing? Like, I don't have time for none of y'all. Like, I don't care. I don't care."
The cameras that we have everywhere now, it's just exposing stuff that we knew that this activity happened. We knew these clowns existed. But now it's just like front page of every blog, come on, dude. This is ridiculous. And the wealth and the money that these people have, you're not going to get close to Offset unless Offset.
But he doesn't have any wealth. Kenneth Petty has no wealth. He is married to Nicki Minaj. God forbid he divorces her and there's no prenup. I bet you he's the type of dude who'd be like Wendy Williams' ex-husband.
Of course.
I want all of it.
Of course. All right, so anyway, we got to get into our relationship part of this thing because looks like Lil Jeezy.
Oh, the divorce segment. I forgot. We have a divorce segment now.
We got to do the divorce segment. Jeezy.
Who are you starting with?
And let's start with Jeezy and Jenny Ma. Jeezy, who's a rapper here from Atlanta. He actually performed with the Atlanta Symphony a few months back. He's well respected here in the Atlanta area. Jenny Ma, who was on which show? Which
Her
show
name
is
is
she?
Jeannie Mai. You keep saying Jeannie Ma. It's not Remy Ma. It's Jeannie Mai.
Okay,
Her name
Jenny
is
Mai.
Jeannie Mai
Okay.
Jenkins. His
Jenny
last name is
Jenkins.
Jenkins, so she Jenny Jenkins.
I
That's
don't
what
even
her
know
name
his
is,
real
Jenny
name. He's
Jenkins.
just Jeezy. Is he Jeezy Jenkins? I'm
No,
sure
his
he's got a
name is
real name.
Jamarius.
Yeah.
Jamarius Jenkins.
So what is going on with this Jenny Mai? Because he's divorcing her, and you said she was
Yes.
married before.
Yes, this is her second marriage.
And
She
you
was
said
married
that.
to a white man named Freddie. They were married for 12 years. Freddie wanted children. She did not. And then she made a couple of pretty disparaging remarks to him when she was on The Real, because that's where she's from. She was on The Real as a co-host for the entire run of that show.
She's on a different
And
show now, right? Or she just.
she's on Access Hollywood now. Once The
Oh,
Real ended, she's on
okay,
Access Hollywood.
okay.
But her husband, Freddie, wanted to have kids. She didn't. They ended up getting divorced. She made some disparaging remarks about him as jokes. He also said that she lacked compassion. And then she married Jeezy and had a child with Jeezy. So Jeezy and his exchange wife, Jeannie Mai, were reportedly not on the same page when it came to certain things in their marriage. The former co-host of The Real and the My President rapper had different opinions when it came to certain family values and expectations, which led to Jeezy filing for divorce last week. They had different views and each felt like their needs weren't being completely met. That's all marriage. Are you dumb? Like, that's not new. Sorry, that was aggressive. My bad.
I'm glad you realized it mid-sentence. Go ahead.
Fans were shocked to learn about the split, as Mai has just shared a touching video with her toddler celebrating the success of Jeannie's new memoir, Adversity for Sale, You Gotta Believe. And that memoir apparently is extremely good. It's on the New York Times bestseller list. Let me say something.
Whose memoir?
As someone,
His or hers?
his.
Okay.
Let me tell you guys, let me just open up a little bit.
Yeah.
As most people who watch this show and listen to us know, I am in a interracial relationship. My husband is Guyanese, Indian, red dot, and then I am African American. And when you marry somebody of a different culture, there are different expectations, but you have to go into that willing to compromise. And if neither one of these people went in willing to compromise, then that's both for their issues. And it's marriage. Marriage is work. Like, it can't just be like, oh, he didn't agree with me about this, and I didn't agree with him about that, so we're just not going to work it out. And we don't know. We're not in their marriage, but it takes work. And you guys have only been married for 2 years. Is that even really trying?
First of all, when you said they only been married for 2 years, I'm like, really? Were they together a long time before that? Before they got
They
married?
were together a while. I think
Okay,
maybe
I was
total
like-
they've been together 4 years, which is still not that long.
Here's the thing. I honestly feel for famous people and their relationships, because to live these type of relationships in the public, and you're going everywhere you go. If you Jeezy, I'm pretty sure you're getting women coming at you everywhere you go. She's living her life. He might be living primarily in Atlanta. She might be living primarily in New York or LA doing her shows. Traveling here, traveling there. You got kids, you got all this stuff, and you're trying to smile.
And they do have a baby.
And you got a kid, and it's one of those things, man. You sit back and you just like, man, living in the public eye is a tough, tough job. And if you're not built for it, if you haven't taken the Denzel Washington school of knowing how to live in public, one thing about Denzel and his wife has never really been that much of a celebrity. She's talented in her own right. She's an actress and I believe writer and director as well. But I look at these relationships and the struggles that they have, and I do feel for them many times. So we'll see how this goes as we talk about our relationship segment. You got something to say before I change gears?
Let's just say, like, I really appreciate what you said about Denzel, the Denzel school. When you think about it, Denzel, Samuel and his wife,
Samuel Jackson.
Somebody else you never think about, Meryl Streep and her husband. Meryl Streep has been married to the same man. Exactly. You don't know who she's married to. He's a composer. He's not even like they've been married for 32 years.
You even have to throw in Magic and Cookie, because they went through a lot of
Magic
stuff
and Cookie.
A lot of stuff publicly. And here's a funny thing, because in Atlanta circles, you kind of see it every year. Magic and Cookie, Samuel Jackson and his wife, and there's a couple other wealthy couples in Atlanta who vacation every year. And I think Steve and Marjorie vacation.
Yeah, Steve and Marjorie. I've seen those pictures.
And And you look at that, those are the type of relationships you got to be mindful of who you got in your circle, right? Who do you have that's around you, right? Because when it's all said and done, even what has been going on recently with Marjorie and Steve Harvey, and then even the situation with his co-host Shirley Strawberry and the stuff that she's dealing with.
Yeah.
I can say what you want to say about Steve Harvey. Oh, he think like a man and blah 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 and da 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 da. Steve will be quick to tell y'all straight up, man, the heck with y'all.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We going, me and my wife and my radio family, we going to be good. There's stuff that we deal with, but we are family, and I respect that.
We are
the way that he's
consumers to
handled it.
Steve.
Yeah.
We are consumers to Steve. He does not give a darn about us in reality. We are consumers, and that's it. And I think that's how it should be. It shouldn't be some like Beyonce style worship or anything like that. It should be, oh, I appreciate what they do and keep it moving. I shouldn't be invested in their marriage. And I appreciate what he said about Marjorie. And yes, Marjorie has a checkered past. A lot of it's rumor, which makes people feel a little bit more weird. Like, well, why did all of her kids take his last name? Like, that's just, it's weird when people do that. That's their business.
It's their business. Whatever
it's their business.
They want to do, yeah.
But there's one more couple we're going to bring up before we leave the relationship segment, and that's Tiana Taylor and Amon Schubert, who are also getting divorced, separated. I don't really know, where do they stand?
According to her, and one thing I can respect is them attacking this thing head up. And here's her post: "I, not too much on my bestie. In all fairness, Iman and I are separated and have been for a while. To be 1,000% clear, infidelity ain't one of the reasons for our departure. We're still the best of friends, great business partners, are our one hell of a team when it comes to co-parenting our two beautiful children. Most importantly, we are family, and the 10 years together, blah, 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 blah." And then comes down to, okay, Auntie taking y'all back out the group chat. So basically she's saying, okay, some pictures done floated out here about that y'all done seen Iman, my husband, with some women. And instead of letting y'all run with this thing too much longer, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know. We separated. It is what it is. Mind your business. And that's basically what she said in that social media post. I'm going to tell y'all what I'm going to tell y'all, and now mind your business. And that's the thing that I can respect.
These side chicks have got to, I know it, yeah, these side chicks got to do better. Y'all, they cause more drama.
Why? That's their job. That's their job. These side chicks, they that's what they're there for. They've accepted that position of breaking up people's relationships. We got to make better, as in men, women, and letting these people come pushing to the side. No, I'm out. I'm married. I'm good. Stay away from me. But these side chicks.
But is it even breaking up a relationship? If, like she said, we separate, he can do what he want to do, just like I'm doing what I want to do. But why are the side chicks? I guess I feel like if I was in that position, let's say, Omar passed away, which is the only way we're breaking up, and I'm out here now dating men, and he's getting. I wouldn't put pictures out of me and the man that may be going through a divorce or might be famous or whatever until it's like, hey, it's cool to do that.
That video or picture of Iman Shumpert and whoever that girl was, she is whoever that girl is. You don't know her. I don't know her. She was some chick who had an opportunity to take a picture with Iman Shumpert in the background, and all of a sudden she got 50,000 people liking her picture. That's all she wanted. She wanted to be relevant. Not relevant because I'm smart, not relevant because I have a great career or I'm a great actor or a great influencer.
I'm a singer, or I'm a rapper. Nothing. Yeah.
You just the chick who got in the picture with Iman Shumpert and caused them to have to bring their business to the public eye. That was your job.
Ugh.
That's all you doing. Yeah, I have no respect for people who move like that. It's like, get a life, man. Do something else. Live your life. Stop trying to mess up people's houses like that.
And I think the bigger conversation is like, celebrities in Hollywood, I get that everybody is looking at your marriage. You're under the public eye scrutiny, but why even do it? You were under scrutiny when you guys were dating. You were under scrutiny for the wedding. It's always going to be like that. Does it stop being fun? Like, I don't understand how all of a sudden you're under so much scrutiny when you were under so much scrutiny before when you guys were dating. Think Ariana Grande's getting divorced. Some people are saying that the real reason why a lot of people are getting divorced because a lot of these relationships were kind of forged over COVID. And when COVID ended and people had to, instead of being in a cute little bubble for a med, and now we back outside. Now it's like,
you got options and you don't like what you got at the house. People can say what they want to say about back in the day. back in the day when there were fewer options, and there's women who stayed with men and men who stayed with women they didn't want to be with. I get it. But there's so many options out now. It's hard to stay in a relationship for some people. If you're not committed, if you don't know you with the right person, God bless you, because all the distractions and all of the opportunities and all the things that get your spirit and everything else stirred up, and you feel like you got options, and next thing you know, you out here co-parenting, and that's the new thing now. It's all about co-parenting. You ain't got a baby daddy, baby mama. It's called co-parenting.
I hate
It is
that.
what it
I
is.
hate that whole thing. I hate that the fact in her post, she's like, we're still best. Like I told you, we're still best friends and we still love our kids and this and that. And we're great together. Well, then why are you getting divorced? Like when Devon Franklin and Megan Good broke up, we're just not going to be together because it just
Well,
didn't
that
work out. Like,
happens. That happens. People can they're amicable breakups. Those happen. You married the wrong person. You know what I mean? Y'all are not long term. Y'all had kids. Y'all were married. Y'all loved each other at that moment, and now you're not. I get that part, and I respect the fact that Tiana said, "Okay, this chick over here trying to make money off us. So
no,
we
yeah,
gonna shut,
yes, I
I'm gonna shut this chick down real quick, and then this, because what this is gonna do, it's gonna pull them off the front page of the blogs, because now the story the questions have been answered. Yep, we separated. Yep, we still cool, and now go mind your business. Bye bye. So now any other picture that comes out with Iman Shumpert with anybody else, it don't matter.
it doesn't matter. It
It
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
matter.
I don't know. I guess I'm just waiting for a real person to come out and, like I said, and say, I don't like this person anymore. We got in mad fights. We had to potty train our twins. We hate each other now. We're getting divorced. F this. I ran away. Middle finger to him. I hope he dies. Like, I'm waiting for that kind of announcement, because I'd be like, I get it.
I'm not.
That's respectable. That's
I'm not.
respectable.
I'm not. All right, a few more stories before we get up out of here. It looks like T-Pain buy you a drink. He said he don't make hardly any money off that because all the references he made in that song, and everybody else getting
Really?
publishing money. Yeah, you didn't see that story?
I
Yeah.
did, but it's still weird that he doesn't make any money off. I feel like I hear that song at least once a week on somebody's TV show.
But
On
but
somebody's
that's just
something.
it. That's the music business, right? Because if you notice now, songs that used to just say one artist, if somebody sung on that record or rhymed on that record, now you're starting to see that artist get more credit, because there's been everybody's suing everybody now in the music business. And so he said, I saw clips of the interview. He basically said, I made so many references in that song just trying to pay homage to these cats. And that cost me to the point that I hardly don't make no money off that song, the most popular song I ever made. I hardly make any money off that song. Music business, it is what it is. And 20 years
I'm
ago,
trying to think of the references in that song, though. I'm gonna take you
um,
home with
Snap
me.
Your Fingers, Two Steps, I think is in that song, which is somebody else's song.
Bun
And
B.
so my understanding is 3 or 4 people referenced
No, that's not.
in that song that caused him to do that. All right, so then there we have the other situation, the sad story in Florida, where a 4-year-old autistic kid got knocked to the floor by a teacher, and I use that
Yeah.
word in quotes. And then go ahead and knock that story out before we get up out of here.
According to the outlet, 48-year-old Tracy Strand was arrested by Edgewater police. And by the way, Edgewater is my area. On Thursday at her Port Orange, Florida home. Strand has reportedly been hit with child abuse and battery charges. As that the woman has since been bonded out of jail. However, a statement from Volusia County Schools has revealed that Strand has now been placed on pending leave. So what happened was, hold on, I have to scroll up to the actual news report.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on Thursday, September 7th, a teacher at Indian River Elementary School was arrested for allegedly slapping a student. The teacher has been placed on leave pending an investigation. So basically, the video shows. I thought it was a man in this video, but this looks like it was a female teacher.
Right, the video that I saw, it was a man who slapped the kid. Unless it's a different story.
Well, here's the thing: stop. If you are not ready to handle special needs kids in school, that you don't need to be doing slapping them, being aggressive towards them. I think the other one kid might have been older, who was deaf and autistic, got slapped to the ground where his head bounced up. This kid's getting slapped in the face as an autistic kid. Listen, I'm the child of a special needs child. I ain't got no business in nobody's school teaching these kids. Why? Because half the time I'm like, you know what? I might just swing on you today. It might just happen. because you're annoying the crap out of me, and you don't care what me and your father have to say.
You
We even have to have a friend who brings their dog.
You have to have
We even have
patience. Yeah, go ahead.
and all the other special needs kids' parents will say the same thing. I don't need to be teaching nobody's group of special needs kids. I can barely handle the one that's in my own household, because it takes a lot of patience, a lot of love, a lot of like, they don't mean this. They don't mean it. They don't know what they're doing. I mean, Devin knows what he's doing, but like a lot of other kids don't know what they're doing.
At that age, I'm saying, and you have to have that. You got to have patience for children, period. Let alone, I can imagine the challenge with a special needs child. But when it's all said and done, you don't put your hands on nobody's child. And I just can't imagine.
The fact that mother didn't come to the school.
Ooh, I can't imagine being that father, because
let me tell you.
I would be calling the school like, you better have PD at the door when I get there, because I'm telling you, everybody getting punched in the face. Y'all better sit up and get it under control before I get there.
If one of Miguel's daughter ever not even got slapped at school, they got a pinch from a teacher, he gonna be on the news. And I would, if I saw him on the news, I'd be like, I don't even need to hear the story. I know exactly what happened. I know exactly what happened. Him and Tracy. Tracy and Miguel Lloyd arrested.
Tracy the one need to be scared. You think,
absolutely.
And so I'm just, and that's the crazy thing about it, man. It's just like, people who know me know I have an immense amount of patience. But when I don't have patience, it's going to be some furniture moving. So let's just not let me get to that point. So if you're talking about, you put your hands on my child and I got to take the time to drive to get to you, and then I'm telling you, you better have PD at the door, like, Mr. Lloyd, hold on, Mr. Lloyd. I understand, sir. I understand. Like, yo, it's gonna be crazy. So anyway, and last story before we get up out of here, which is just, I'm just really and truly tired of these stories. It is 2023.
Can we talk about a happy story to end?
Oh, okay, then give me one, because this one's gonna know. It is 2023.
Happy story. Deion Sanders.
2023. Let me finish it. 2023. We got time. We can do your funny story after this. Cool. And you still got schools that are suspending kids for wearing locks. So here's how, in addition to this being annoying, I have 3 beautiful women in my home with locks. My wife and 2 of my daughters have beautiful locks. I wish they would tell me my child could not go to school because their hair, which is well groomed, which we got a loctician that comes here, got those girls looking beautiful every day of the week, and you're gonna tell me because this is how their hair grows naturally, you think my kids, my 2 youngest daughters, a perm has never touched their heads. My wife has not put a perm in her head in probably 7 or 8 years. So you're not and so to still think these type of stories, family reportedly hires lawyer after Texas school suspends black teen for refusing to cut his locks. Who the hell are you to tell that child to cut their locks? I
don't think people understand that. It's weird to get white people to understand this, but it's not like locks is a wig you just threw on because it'd be fun to do. Like, it takes a long time to grow locks. It's a black hairstyle. It should be respected and valued. They showed pictures of the boy. He usually what it looked like he kept it, that braid twist thing they do. He had a braid twisted up.
When 17-year-old Daryl George styled his locks in a ponytail, he didn't anticipate his high school would suspend him. So what? A young black boy can't have a ponytail? It's a bunch of white girls walking around school with ponytails. Like, what about this really got y'all upset that y'all decided to kick this boy out of school so he couldn't get his public education?
It sounds like some gender crap stuff. Like, only girls can wear ponytails and boys can't, and only girls can have long hair and boys can't. Because I bet you there's probably some white parents who conformed to this BS and cut their son's hair when they didn't need to.
Whatever it is bullshit. And when
it is absolutely.
People who are in this school district, y'all need to go run for your school board. Y'all need to go form a parents committee and get this stuff off the books, because this is the type of stuff that when we talk about voting doesn't matter, getting engaged doesn't matter. Y'all so worried about Donald Trump out here and what he is doing. You need to worry about what's going on in your city, your county, in your area, in your school system, and understand, because that's the stuff that's going to affect your kids day to day. This nonsense here is a ridiculous distraction. Go ahead.
the school, either the mom or the school said that, this happened, I think, a couple of weeks before the Crown Act was passed, but the Crown Act was passed. And it absolutely didn't need to be passed when you think about it, but it was passed. I mean, you cannot be discriminated against or punished because of your hair.
Right.
They're trying to send this boy to alternative school. And
Because
me and
of his
Miguel know,
hair.
most of our listeners know what alternative school means. That's for kids who can't behave in school, are fighting all the time, are ridiculous thug jerks who can't be in somebody's classroom. This boy just got locked. So you gonna send him to alternative school because of his hair and detriment and ruin his entire future because of his hair.
Because of his hair. But here's the thing. If you go to any high school football game and you watch them boys take those helmets off their heads, most of them got locks.
All of them. All
Right?
of them. I've never seen a football player with a regular haircut.
So most of them kids are running around with locks, and so hey, all of a sudden maybe they aren't, what does it say? A junior at the school received disciplinary notes and in-school suspension because his locks draped past a certain length. So now you're going to determine how long the locks can be. Man, kiss my ass. These people can have, if these things are groomed and ain't nothing growing, no lice or anything in there that's causing any issue with the health of these children, y'all need to mind y'all business. Let these kids do what they do. I ain't got no problem with no kids running around with locks. If they taking care of their stuff and they're not bothering anybody and they're not obstructing any views, so kids, and here's the case, if he's obstructing the views, then ask him to sit in the back of the class. Right? The kids want to go to the back of the class anyway. So for the most part, he probably want to sit in the back of the class anyway and chill. The bottom line is stop making these excuses and singling out these young black boys for oppression. And that's all this garbage is. All right, give me something funny so I can smile before I get up out of here.
Not so much funny, but happy. Congratulations to Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, who made Colorado apparently the top school in the nation. I mean, that game went to, I think Omar told me 1 a.m.
2:30.
It was late.
2:30 in the morning. I rolled over when I finally, and I said, it is 2:30? Oh my God. Because it went to double overtime.
Double overtime.
And it was an exciting game. It was really an exciting game. Prime is something special. But we've known that since the late 80s, when he first hit the scene. But we didn't see this. I've been following sports and following football since I was a child. There is no football player, because there's a big difference between football and basketball players.
Yes.
The No Fun League, the NFL, does everything in their power to make football players very uniform. And it makes it so they're easily, all the cornerbacks got locks and they all got certain armbands and you can't wear blah, 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 blah. Deion always made sure you knew where he was on that field. And it helped him to be a great marketer, sell a lot of stuff, sell a lot of shoes, whatever. Now here it is, fast forward 30 years, and you're just like, he's doing the same thing he did as a player. But now he's bringing these
Jackson
other players
State
along.
should be kicking themselves in the balls. Jackson State. We talked about this on the show. Yeah. We talked about this on the show when this first happened, when he left Jackson State. Y'all should have gave that man whatever he asked for. He could have asked for white strippers who made banana splits on Tuesdays. They should have given it to him.
We did this in the show. The endowment of University of Colorado is 60 times the endowment of Jackson State. He did what
But I don't think he cared about that.
Yeah, he cared, because here's why he cared. And we can rehash this, and we did this show a year ago or whenever it was.
It was a year ago.
Not only did he get a bigger salary, but he brought
his whole team, his
staff, and they all got better jobs, right?
Yeah.
And then he brought these kids who Travis Hunter, who could have went to Florida State, and because of his commitment to Deion Sanders, he went to Jackson State, and then he said, you know what? I'm going to take you to a bigger school to give you a bigger platform. Mm-hmm. And that kid went out there, and now he's shining, even though that kid who almost broke his ribs or lacerated his liver is what happened with that.
And leave that kid alone. People are sending that kid death threats. That's completely unnecessary.
It's not that serious. And, and Deion, once again, being a bigger man, has come out, and he has, in the press conference, said, leave that kid alone. That's not even his player. Deion Sanders is the best ambassador for the game of football that we have seen in a long time, and he's really upset the apple cart of college sports, and it is what it is.
He's upset the old boy, the old, what is it called? The old guy, old white man.
The old boy. Because here's the thing:
the old boy network gets upset now.
yeah,
And I'm hoping that this whole situation with Deion Sanders opens up for more black players, former players, the Emmitt Smiths of the world.
Emmitt don't want to be a coach. And and I know where you're going, and I appreciate you going there, but there's only one Deion Sanders.
No, there's only one Deion Sanders, but you know what I mean? Like, imagine let's say Shannon Sharp, who sucks where he's at right now, I don't like it, decides, you know what, forget this, I'm going to go coach. You don't think Shannon Sharp would be good at a coach, at a school?
No.
You're just being negative, and I don't like it.
No. You got to understand how special Deion is. Deion has a kid who's a running back on his team right now that he has been coaching since he was 4 years old. He has an ability to motivate not only kids but his peers. Michael Irvin, Shannon Sharp. These people talk about him and how much of a big little brother he's been, whether they're older or younger. He's a special dude. So all these white coaches worrying about many more Deions coming up and many more of them coming and taking these jobs. No, it ain't gonna happen. Not like that, because there's only one.
But they need to fear it. Sure,
they can fear it. They can fear it. But like for the situation, just as Deion is having all the success at Colorado, the head coach of Michigan State is just getting ready to get fired. And so, the black coach of Michigan State. Yeah.
Is he
they're about to run his behind about it. They hit him with some something going on. Who knows if it happened, it happened. But a lot of people I know who in the Michigan State community are just like, oh, they made this stuff up to get rid of him because he had a big contract. It's just and Kelvin, you're right. Eddie George can coach. Absolutely. He's at Tennessee State now. But he doesn't have the cachet that Deion primes. No one's talking about Eddie George.
A little bit, but not so much just because of him, but because also who he's married to, which has nothing to do with football. I'm just saying he happens to be married to somebody famous. People tend to forget that.
One of the girls from SWV, I always forget her name, but yes.
Her name is Taj. Thank you very much. Her name is Taj.
That's what matters to you. But Deion's doing a great job. They're going to struggle the next couple of weeks, unfortunately, because Travis Hunter. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you, I'm not a betting man, but I know sports pretty doggone well. The spread right now, as of today, is 21 points that Deion and his team will lose by 21. Lord, I don't bet, but Lord knows I'm thinking about it because they're not gonna lose by 21 points. Even if they lose that game, they won't lose by 21 points.
With Travis out, wasn't that prediction made when Travis was going to play, or was that without Travis?
No. That's this week once they know that Travis is not going to play because he's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. So now the two biggest games of the year, which are going to be Oregon and USC, he's not going to play because he's hurt. They're
going to lose. Like, I don't even know football.
I'm not saying, but that's the betting part of it. Losing is one thing. Losing by 21 points.
Getting your ass whooped.
But here's the thing. Do you understand how that works? Let me educate you real quick. Do you? Okay.
Yes.
So as long as they don't lose by 21
points.
If you bet on Colorado, you still win. If you bet on Colorado and they say that they're gonna lose by 20, lose by 14, you still win your money.
No, I get. We're not talking about betting. I'm just saying in general. I'm not going through all of this. I think it's great that Prime has continued to move on. He's making it very good for Colorado. He's got a lot of kids now who are lining up, selling their livers to go to Colorado and play for Coach Prime. Like, honestly, I hope Travis gets better. And for everybody who's sending death threats to that other child, who was a child, by the way, he's a child. I don't even think that kid is 20. I think he's like 19, sending him death threats. Stop sending him death threats. It's just a football game.
It was a dirty hit, but it's definitely.
It was. And how many dirty hits do we see at every single college football game? A lot. Professional football games.
There was a lot of dirty hits in that game. Anyway, all right, sis, what else you got before we get up out of here?
I got sleep.
All right, y'all.
Now let me check. I think we've covered a lot of the stuff. Let me just double check, because intern Alexa was like, "Hey, here's 45 stories you guys can cover for this week." I'm like, I think we covered almost everything.
Omar,
everything's good.
Omar, yeah, okay, but you're not playing for Prime, brother. You're not paying for Coach Prime.
My baby is talented. Thank you very much. He is talented. He can go.
He can go all
If I
he wants.
shave his beard and give him a little bit of foundation, we can sneak him onto the football
give
team.
him 100 pounds and a 4.2 speed. Because one thing about Prime, he's cool. But if you can't play, he gonna tell you he cut 90% of his team from last year. That's a whole new.
If Omar stops smoking, he can run fast. If he stops smoking, once he stops smoking, he can run very fast.
I know you got to big up your baby. I get it. I get it. Yeah, you're a champion. You know, you sound like right now. You remember that video was out a couple years ago where the dude was rapping with the brush hanging down, and he was rhyming, and his girlfriend was behind him hyping him up like, yeah. That's how you sound right about now. All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all. We holler at y'all next week. Make sure y'all follow us on all of the socials: YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, all that good stuff. We holler at y'all next week.